Hello and welcome to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also, know if you're new to the channel, we look at the spiritual wounds, the shadows that play out as karmic themes within your experiences, not just what goes on the surface. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me because you really resonated with this video, well, then give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video in your comment bar. That's always how Spirit likes me to start my readings off. It's, the word will trigger my intuition, and that's how it tells me where to start. So let's see. Well, that kind of jumped out at me. Okay, grounding, grounding. Oof. Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. I feel as if it's a really stressful time for you right now. I feel like you're in the verge of a transition and you know it. Things are happening, but you don't exactly know what is going to happen. But you know that life is about to change. So I feel like some of you guys are changing jobs, some of you guys are moving, some of you guys are like it's just time to end a relationship, but it's a it's a prominent relationship within your life. And I feel like you have a lot of different emotions about it. You have a lot of different emotions about it. And this is why it's important to be grounded. I also feel like you're dealing with a soulmate. Again, spiritual connection that really is forcing you to be grounded because they trigger you a lot. It's like everything that they seem to do seems to be the wrong thing. It's like, it's almost like you feel like, why is it so difficult? It shouldn't be this difficult. But the thing is, this person has spiritual blocks. They get in their own way. They don't trust themselves when it comes to relationships. So I feel like because of this transition that you're going through, and again, it's going to be different for everyone because it's a collective reading. I just feel like changes are happening, which cause you to, again, think and not be as present to begin with when you really need to be present. A lot of times it's natural for us to want to go up in our mind and find a solution and think about what's going to happen and how it's going to happen. That's a trained behaviorism. What this is saying is you need to be grounded. And I feel like, again, you're connected to someone that's going to come back into your life that's been in separation. And there's feelings there. It's not that there aren't feelings, but this person just has a lot of spiritual blocks when it comes to relationships. So they don't really trust themselves. So they overthink. And because they overthink, they continuously get in their own way, which is what happens when we have a spiritual block. I'm going to see why, again, what the cards have to say to build on that grounding energy, which is what is the underlining energy. But I feel like it's not because you're grounded or your person's grounded. I feel like you both need to be grounded, you know? Like the more that your person thinks, the more that they get in their own way, the more that you think about how this person is reacting and what they're doing and how they're doing it, the more that you're getting triggered. And then you can't focus on what you need to do for yourself. I wish I could share my good news with you. Your person's making changes. I feel like, yeah, they move turtle slow because that works for them in business. It works for them in other areas of life. But the problem is you can't approach a relationship the same way that you approach business. They actually could talk to you about what's going on right now. They just don't feel confident because they feel like they need to show you more. They need to have more. You speak to me through music. You're always on their mind. It's again, you're in the back of their mind when you're not in the front of their mind. I feel like they watch you on social media. I feel like they try to talk to other people about you in a roundabout way. It's their way of feeling as if they're close to you and you're still in their life. I left when I saw you with someone. I feel like your person isn't confident in themselves. And I feel like they are attached to a lot of different karmic people. So they assume that you are the same way, even when you're not. So you could have a friend that they're jealous of. When this person wasn't giving you enough, because again, everything that they were supposed to do, they wouldn't do. They get in their own way. So it's like their way to play it safe is to give breadcrumbs, to give very small. And you're like, I know that you have feelings for me. So why is like there's so little here? It's again, it's like because it'll make you give them more. And that's what they've done in the past. It's a trained behavior that worked for them. And so it's triggering to you. So there's so much of that bullshit that was going on that they knew that they weren't treating you right. So when a person knows that they're not treating you right, they project. And so you having a busy life means that you don't like them enough. You hanging out with other people means that you like those other people, even though it's not. It's a distortion. And it's because we see what we look for, and this person's not healed. It's coming out in the relationship, you know it because it's again triggering you, but what it's also telling you is that you're not healed. And that's why we do these readings. We also see what they're going to do, obviously, because that affects you, but we want to know why it affects you so that you can integrate it, so that you can like change the dynamic of the reading. I hid who I really am from you. This person, like I said, I think that they wanted you to perceive that they were perfect because they don't feel perfect. They feel as if that there's something wrong with them. That's why their relationships don't work out. I feel like they're sensitive and they tend to overgive and overdo and overpromise and over way before, and then it's like almost like a trained condition from growing up in an environment where they were like the fixer, the healer of the family. And then they took that behaviorism that worked in their childhood into every relationship. So they come in over giving, overdoing, and then never measure up. Always never measure up. And so they didn't want you to see that imperfect part of themselves. I left you before you could leave me. Dad, so it's again, I thought that I saw you with somebody else and that you again like them. And so I left you only because I knew you were going to leave me once you saw who I really am. Because that part of me is a persona. That's a part of me that I wanted you to perceive that I am. That's not really truly who I am. So this again says more about them than you. This is why we look into this, because it's again, it's difficult to stay grounded when we're being triggered. Like it's something that they're doing to me. It's something that, why are they treating me this way? It's again, we stay stuck in the story instead of finding a solution. Please contact me. I may not respond, but knowing you care opens my heart. So this person almost feels like they messed up. They don't want to seem vulnerable again. Like you said, they're not really they don't show anybody who they truly are. So obviously not showing you how they really feel is not really existent. But there was a very strong spiritual connection that they always felt. And I think their own mind chatter is getting in the way that they don't feel that anymore. Their own anxiety is. And so I do feel like this is a soul connection because you can feel that through the heart and mind. And so the thing is, there's a lot of trauma that your person has around relationships. And so they have so much anxiety that, and they're thinking about you so much that they can't feel whether you're there or not. So again, they're getting paranoid. And so that's stopping them from actually coming forward, but they want you to come forward because they're like, I have feelings, I just can't express them, but they know that they need to. They know that they need to. See how this person is trying to work through their spiritual block of being able to open up their throat chakra and their heart chakra and really come forward, like again, do it because they know you're not. I'm awakening. I know more than I'm letting on. So again, this person like is awakening to the truth of, how they've been living, not just why things are happening, who you are, again, the role you play in their life. This is what it means awakening. They may not share any of that because they're in a space of healing, but they're in a space of healing because again, they hid who they really are. And so they don't really, there's a fear of, are you going to love me for who I am? And also, not just that, but looking at your life and kind of triggering them to reparent themselves of the things that are actually wounded in their life because they know that they can't really come forward in to your life, not showing showing one version of themselves, but then hey, there's nothing really there, that they're not really confident, that they give their time to people that really, like I said, karmic people that hold on to them, but not really people that matter, people of depth. I'm listening to my higher self now. A higher power is guiding me. And that's how they know that it's a soul relationship because they're coming into a place of surrender. But understand, spirit is using them, like is using you actually to move them because they have strong feelings for you because they're actually looking at, how they acted and really, I didn't even show who I am. So I kind of lost right away because the focus was on losing. They're looking at their behaviorisms, they're looking at their thoughts, they're looking at how they created the situation. So I don't think this person felt like they were going to have such strong feelings. I'm triggered and old patterns have surfaced and it hurts. So it's again, they're healing. Like I said, like this whole situation triggered them because I feel like, again, they didn't really give it a chance and you didn't react the way that they perceived that you were going to react. It's like, they were I feel that they thought that you were toxic. And really, now that they're looking at the situation, they're seeing that they're toxic. And it's making them look at like how they created this mess. And the reason why is because they still have feelings. And that's why, again, they realize that they have feelings, and that's why they listen to their higher self. They're getting their ego is moving out of their way because they say, I'm not feeling better. As time goes on, I'm feeling worse. I'm feeling worse. Like I can't really like move past this. My ego is fragile to criticism and rejection. I've created walls to protect myself. And this is what they've realized. They realized that, again, that they didn't really hear you or see you through who you were and what was happening. They were seeing it through their wound. And so um, I feel like they did project. They projected all their bad relationships and experiences onto you. This person goes into relationships, they overgive and they overdo. And then what happens is they don't feel like their life is their life. And then because that they don't, they're not comfortable to really show people who their life is, what their life is, what they're into. So I feel like this person hides a lot of who they are and they feel like they have addictions to back that up because they detach, they disassociate because they have to play a role in order to, kind of fit in. Always doing and acting like you want to do for other people and never really filling yourself, never finding yourself, leaves you empty. You may get instant gratification for a second for giving to somebody, But if you haven't taken care of yourself, it winds up depleting you. So I feel like this person just again wasn't ready for like an equal love almost. But they were always wanted in equal love. It was always something that they dreamed about, but they weren't prepared for it, I should say. And so that's why they're looking and they're like, wow, like I'm looking at what I did, and that's why my ego is fragile because it's again, the walls are coming down, the protective walls. And that's when a person really surrenders their ego. They really want to like to stop their pain and see their life differently. And that happens because they're inspired by you. That happens because you make them think. That's because you showed them there's a different way to be, to live, and not because you did anything except for the fact that you're in their life. So that's how you know, again, that it's divine. It's like it's unconditional. It's like you're not expecting anything, you're just there and doing you. And the person's like, again, I feel comfortable. I could see myself with you. So we look and we see what are they going to do? And then we'll see why you attracted this person into your life. What are you supposed to learn? There is something I am hiding from you. Like I felt like those are the addictions. I feel like this person hid who they are from you. So there's going to be a lot of things that they're hiding from you. And so, and some of those things are not a big deal. It's just they feel they're a big deal. They judge themselves. They were brought up to feel shame. This is why every relationship winds up being leaving them with shame. They continue to relive that karmic theme within their life, even though they're grown up. They're not in that environment that caused that wound. So they don't like who they are. That's why they have to come wear a persona. I want you to like who I am. That's not really who I am. I don't know who I am because I'm so busy trying to make sure that, you like me instead of feeling comfortable. And that means that person didn't feel comfortable to grow up in an environment that was supportive to them to be able to do that. Twin flame journey. So you're like, this is my twin flame, this person that's so broken. They're broken in this area. I didn't whip out a card spread on finances and business. I'm sure if I did, the energy would be a lot different. We're multi beings. We can have spiritual blocks in one area, and twin flame journey means that Virgo, you have gifts that can enhance this person, can teach this person, can heal this person, and vice versa. It means again learning about the higher characters of the universe of Christ consciousness, which is this unconditional love. So you learn forgiveness, you learn compassion, you learn. So again, part of that is acceptance, meaning that, or you may not even care. When it's twin flame journey, a lot of times you don't even care because you understand. We'll see when I look at your inner child wounds, why you attracted this person into your life. That will tell me what your wounds are and why you attracted this person into your life. I'm done playing games. So again, this person's surrendering their ego. And that's because I feel like the walls just like, again, when we build our life on personas, eventually it just doesn't work out because we have to, it doesn't feel good to live from a persona. It takes a lot of energy. And in that energy, we're not creating ourselves. we're not becoming ourselves. We're not evolving. We're too busy worried about fitting in, being accepted, being liked. But that's a survival mechanism. A lot of times when we grow up in an environment where we felt that we needed to be the healer of the family. This is a story of that. This could be you, Virgo. This could be your person. But twin flame journey, guess what? It usually means both. Both parties have the same experience, but they didn't they didn't handle the experience the same way. So they have gifts in other areas and opposite areas. That's why you feel like, oh, this is my better half, my other half. Now your other half, you're not a half a person. You're a whole person. Like, but that part of my life doesn't work. Relationships don't work. Or that part of my life, like money doesn't work. No, 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 no. It all works. It all works. But we, again, wouldn't know how to heal it unless the universe brought us people and situations and experiences that changed our heart and our mind. And that's what I see here. And I see that entire dynamic change. But as I said, the universe doesn't just heal one party. You're attracting this person because you need to learn something. You need to heal something. You need to be aware of something, whether that's to heal a wound or to discover a gift. So let's see. Self-love. Well, obviously, if this person was playing games and not really there for you, you had to put the time into yourself. And I feel like that's exactly what you did. Because we have to say, reparent, imagination. So again, when you get rid of certain people and situations in your life that are continually triggering you because they're not honoring you, obviously we're able to be in a place where we're relaxed. And when we're giving ourselves self-love and we're relaxed, our intuition opens up where we find our passions, we find our hobbies, we find our interests, we find who we are, because that's what self-love actually is. It's that you invested in yourself. Because you invested in yourself, you became yourself. And you weren't caught up in this person's drama of, because understand they have drama because of the unhealed trauma. And that's really what it is. It's like when people don't heal, they tend to, again, get in their own way and make messes of life. But if you are on your path and you're doing what you need to do for yourself and you don't abandon that path, well, no one can take you off your path. So what happened in this particular story is because you didn't, this person learned from you. This person got inspired by you. This person says, I can see myself with you. It's like instead of them running, they're that I'm not saying that they're chasing, but it's again, it created an awakening within inside of them of what they needed to heal to better their own life. Again, and the innocence of really this is unconditional love, that with a twin flame journey, that's really what it is. It's like it's innocent because we don't see what the person does even when they tend to do it. It's like we have just again this unconditional love. And it's also when you're a child, you're innocent. And so this is a story of wounds that happened in childhood that affected relationships, intimacy, trust. And obviously, if we're not in a place of feeling safe, we can't create ourselves. And so you have to create yourself through, again, the act of self love, investing in yourself, and being like a child. Again, children don't have expectations of how things are supposed to look or why things are the way that they are. They just do. So again, you wound up being able to be like a child, and that opened up your intuition. And if you can imagine it, you can create it. And when you're giving yourself self love, you're actually embodying the emotion of love. So you're able to be abundant. You're able to be a magnet to who and what is supposed to come into your life, regardless of what's going on in the environment. This person is used to coming into people's life and being a tornado and ruining people's lives. So this is why they don't really like themselves. And it's because they come in, they overpromise, they overdo, they don't, they're not grounded. So, and it's because they're overly emotional, and that's just a trauma response. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person, and knowing how to handle it, which is exactly what you're doing. You don't give it energy. Person eventually gets triggered because the ego, if they're not paying attention to me, they realize they have to change their approach. That's what is happening here. It triggered an awakening where this person's had to look at themselves. And that's why the walls are coming down. I'm going to leave that there, Virgo. Now, if you resonated with this, give me a like, a comment. Again, the word, what was the word again? The word was grounded. How could I forget? Grounded in your comment bar. And you'll know if I chose you, if I wrote the word winner underneath. If I did, we'll correspond back and forth a little bit on YouTube. Then just reach out to me through my email, and we'll figure out best day and time that works for both of us. And then I'll send you the link the day before or the day of. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.